need an introduction because he'll tell you all about his life and his story. So everyone welcome Jake Hart to the stage.
I killed a man in St. Louis. No. We're just going to brush past that guy did that. So I sat at my desk wondering when I was going to get fired. I was wondering because my bosses didn't know they were going to fire me that day. I knew they were going to fire me that day. And I was very, very excited about it. In 1998, I was working at Future Call. It's like a bunch of other telemarketer places out there, but it was the first one that I ever worked at. And it was the summer in '98. I was spending it with my dad, his girlfriend, her kid, and my sister. It was in a little shack in the prairie of nowhere where the sky changed all kinds of colors, and it was Cormac McCarthy town every day out there. And to relieve the sense of boredom we had, me and my sister both got jobs. She got a job at a cafe staffed by people that are, quote, too gross to be characters on Twin Peaks. And I got a job at the telemarketing center with my dad's girlfriend. Now my dad is a walking Johnny Cash song. If you took Mel Gibson, Harvey Keitel, inseminated their sperm into the stomach of Kurt Russell and pulled it out, you'd have my dad. So, what's going to happen isn't going to be too much of a shock. So I'm working this telemarketing gig alongside his girlfriend, and it's actually pretty good to an 18-year-old with no bills. It's $300 a week after taxes, and I've got no bills, so it's $1 million to me. And I'm just saving this money. I don't have anything much to do with it other than CDs, and I don't really have a lot of friends, so I don't spend money on that. Just saving and accruing this money. Now, during this time, my dad's girlfriend and him were starting to, like, you know, part ways, inch by inch, usually by means of screaming about who was fucking around on who and who stole whose pills. And so, that's over there. I'm over here just trying to mind my own business and raking my money. But at some point, it comes to a head. And that head happens in Denver. Yeah, I hear it. So we went to Denver for a DUI sentencing for my dad. Or as he called it, bullshit. Apparently he was so hungover the next day, he still registered as drunk when they pulled him over from the party. Yeah, he was fine. Whatever. So we get to Denver, he goes to the courthouse, and I'm waiting in the car. And when he comes back out, I ask him, so what's the deal? He's like, well, they want me to do 20 days. And I told you about my dad, so my reaction was, oh, that's not too bad. But then he tells me it's 20 days, that's going to be over Christmas. And privately, I was like, well, it's not like I was going to see you. But, you know, still, jail and Christmas is jail and Christmas. So I was like, sucks. What are you going to do? And he looked around and he's like, fuck it. I don't even like this state. Let's get the hell out of here. Yeah. All right, cool. So now it's a father and son escape team that we've just put together. I say just father and son because we're not going to tell my sister, and he's trying to escape his girlfriend, so we're not telling her either. So the plan is, since he didn't have a job at the time, because of course that we were going to save all my money, and then at the end of the summer, one day we were just going to take off. That's a plan. So that's what it is. I would save and save and save every week, and I'd do this shit. I would take these calls that were mostly like credit card calls. They're like, hi, would you like a titanium MasterCard? Not really. Well, let me sell it on you because I'm a terrible person. This is all I could do with my life. So I was doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And meanwhile, it's kind of fun. Like, I was never able to do this kind of shit with my dad because my dad's that way. I look like this now. I wasn't like this back then. I have a big background in musical theater. I've been in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. I was not prepared to be the fucking accomplice here with my dad. I'm not the getaway guy quite yet. So I'm doing this, and I'm working this job, and it's weeks of this. It's just going, Dad, I fucking hate this job. We have enough money. Please, can I get fired? Can I get fired? I say this now because I gotta get fired on purpose. Because otherwise, his girlfriend's gonna think something up if I quit. Also, if I get fired, my check comes 2 weeks later rather than the next day. So, after weeks of this, finally, you know, my dad's like, all right, I think we got enough money. Go ahead and get fired. All right, cool. So I walked in to work, and then I realized, oh, fuck, I've only had 2 jobs in my whole life. And that summer working at Ponderosa didn't prepare me on how I was going to get fired on purpose at this telemarketing class. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, sleep at my desk. I hate that. So I get to my desk, boom, put my head down, and just waiting for good times. 5 minutes later, I just get a tap on the shoulder and say, now if you don't sit up, I'm going to make you stand. And I can't go back with, make me stand, bitch! Because I gotta act like, oh, God, I didn't mean to do that for cover. So I'm just like, sorry. So now I'm like, okay, what's plan B for getting fired on purpose? I won't push sales. Cool. So every call from then on was more or less like this. Hi, this is Jake Hart. Would you be interested in a titanium MasterCard? Not really. I hear that. Nobody said anything. I'm starting to get a little insulted. I'm putting effort into this. More effort than I ever put into the fucking job. So now, my next idea is, I turn to the guy next to me and I tell him, hey dude, press your button. There's a button, it's a mute button you can press, so you can ask a supervisor a question or if you want to go to the bathroom or something, so that the monitoring department above you can't hear you. I turned to him, I was like, yo, press your button. And he, what's up? I'm trying to get fired. You want to help me out? And he's immediately like, yeah! He knows where we work. And so I was like, all right, all I gotta do is just undo your button up, just count to 3 and listen to me, all right? 1, 2, 3. And I start to tell this guy a story a guy I know told me that happened to him. And my friend that told me this story has an upstate New York accent when he tells it, so I'm gonna tell it like that, like I told to him. Yeah, so I was just like fucking banging the shit out of this chick, right? She's just sitting on top of me, like, and you know what? We're going at it, it's getting so in the fucking moment. I don't know what the fuck just happened. In the middle of the whole thing, I fucking smack her. I smack her in the fucking face, and she goes off the bed. And I go around the bed to see if she's okay, because I fucking smacked her in the face. And then, like, you know, if I see her on the ground, she's naked, she's on her knees, she's bleeding from her face. I don't know why. I start fucking laughing. It's the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. And then, like, she sees that I'm laughing, and she doesn't think it's funny, so she starts hitting me in the fucking head like I hit her, and then I think that's even funnier, so I start laughing harder, so she hits me even harder, and there's blood flying everywhere. Holy shit, good times. Nobody says anything. I go on a break. I go on a break and like, okay, plan D is gonna be me kicking my supervisor in the crotch. Maybe that'll get me a write-up around here. I don't know. I get back and I go sit at my desk thinking of plan D when a supervisor comes up to me and says, Jake, please grab your coat and come with me. And I grab my coat and I go with her, trying not to skip. I get to the office and they sit me down and they say, Jake, I'm here to let you know your position here at Future Call has been terminated due to the fact that you were pushing sales and falling asleep at your desk. And apparently at one point you talked about your sex life over the phone. And in my mind, I'm actually like, oh God, all 3 reasons? Jesus, I didn't think people were paying attention to anything. But out loud, all I did was say something about Mondays. So they fired me. And my dad's girlfriend was just like, hey, what happened when she saw me? And I told her, she's like, oh, that sucks. I was like, I know, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. And I called my dad and told him, and he was like, that's funny. All right, I'll see you later. And 2 days later, we packed up the van and left Colorado. And I have not rooted for the Rockies ever since.